Littal, thanks so much for being here. I'm really excited to interview you.
Thank you, Eric. So glad to be here too.
And we tried this a few times, but we're getting there. I specifically want to ask you about the future of HR and some of the trends that you've been seeing for the over the past period, because you've been in people analytics for over 25 years, which I think is really impressive. What I want to ask about...
It wasn't called people analytics, you know.
It probably wasn't called... It wasn't even called HR analytics back then. Over the last 25 or so years, what are the biggest trends or changes that you've been seeing in the marketplace?
Yes, I think that the first big thing is that HR people started to look outside of their domain, starting to explore more business questions and gain more impact with the analytics on the business. And the second thing is impact more on our other stakeholders, which are the employees. So using analytics to make work better for people, which is the second trend I see.
Well, we just saw Josh Burson main stage talking about the employee experience and the importance of involving the employees in the analytics process. How have you seen that develop?
So basically, we are starting to use data with AI and other applications to give personalized insights for people. So we're not only using analytics to give executive answers and insights, but also the very personal individual in the workforce,
insights.
Which is a huge change.
Yeah, that's fascinating, and I think that's where analytics. I have a Samsung phone, and it counts my steps every single day, and that's an analytics insight that's useful for me. But that might also be in a productivity setting, be a productivity measure, or depending on your job, of course.
Yeah, I think
that's useful information.
I think that employees are already get used to use their smartphone everywhere for every activity. So now they expect the same experience.
They expect the same from their HR technology. Yeah. What I really want to dive into is, I know you have a strong vision on the future of analytics, and a lot of people are saying, hey, analytics it's the next thing. What's happening after analytics? Will people analytics always be there, always be this separate department, or where will we go in the future, do you think?
Well, we are all involved in building dashboards and do predictive analytics and all the shiny methodologies that we
all the
like
shiny new things. Yeah.
But I think that all of this will change eventually, because AI is getting into the HR domain and will actually replace these kinds of analytics. And I think that we, the people analytics leaders in the organization, have a new and very important role, because since we know something about the mechanism behind those shiny apps, we will be the one to choose the right applications for the organizations, and with the mindset of being an ethical organization, and help the ethic to guide us while doing procurement of AI applications.
Check. So recently Amazon has been in the news because they had a faulty hiring algorithm where it favored males over females for certain roles. What can companies do to prevent this from happening in the future?
Well, first of all, we must understand that garbage in, garbage out. Mm-hmm. If we teach our robots to to learn from all data that represent all the discrimination, all biases, we should not be surprised
when robots are also starting to discriminate.
So we should ask our vendors hard questions about the kinds of data they use to teach the machines to give insights on. And I think that we should think of new data, new kinds of data that can be used, like data about aspirations and behaviors that are related to career development, and on the other side, opportunities that some kinds of new apps offers to employees to match their aspirations. So this is new data without the old biases that we know from the work.
So what you're saying is that before we input the data and train our algorithms to be a certain way, we need to check that data for biases, see if we are an equal opportunity employer, for example, see if that also is represented in the data, and if that's not represented in the data, we should be very careful training our algorithms on that biased data in that sense.
I think that we should do that, and we can't actually do that. So I don't see any HR leader actually do that, but we should ask our vendors, those are suppliers of new AI applications for HR, those hard questions to really make sure that the data they use is not biased.
Yeah, even if it's our own data that they might use, and that might actually be biased.
So basically, we have two new roles as people analytics leaders. One is the procurement role. We want to find the best solutions that out there that are best for our business questions, for our organization, for our culture. And the other important role is the ethic issue. We are responsible for the ethics of all these robots. They are not ethical. They are just machines.
Yeah, they just do what we train them to do or tell them to do. And we need to train them in the right things and show them the right example. And that's a hard task. Littal, thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.